Hello everybody, it's Mr. Robbie here, and if you're still with me, that means you too have survived the first week of the first American dictatorship. So today's lesson is tariffs for dummies. Psst, they are taxes. So, there's a lot of talk this week about the tariffs, which are actual sales taxes. I don't know how many times normal people have to explain this to the MAGA morons, because they think that it's a penalty for a country, say, for example, China, Mexico, Canada, whatever country the orange turd is threatening at the moment. And they believe it is a penalty against them so that they won't be able to sell their products in the United States, and that Americans will be forced to pay higher prices for the foreign imports, and instead of doing that they would go and pay and buy American products. Well, that's just not how it works, and you can think of it, MAGA, this is especially for you. You can think of it, as I said, it is a sales tax, but think of it also like this way. If you buy something from Amazon, from another country, or anywhere from another country, you're going to pay customs duty. That is a tariff. That is a sales tax. You're going to pay a tariff. You, the consumer, is going to pay the tariff. I'm in Switzerland. I can't always get what I want in Switzerland, so sometimes I have to order from Amazon. A few years ago, almost 5 years ago, I bought something not from Amazon, but I bought something from Germany, from a company in Germany. I bought a scooter, an electric scooter, and a good one. And I'm not going to go into it now, but it was a good one, a very expensive one, and I had to pay a duty on it. I had to pay a customs duty, a customs tariff, a customs tax. Okay? Now, unfortunately, I did not know it at the time. Well, I knew it at the time that I would have to pay a duty. That's not a surprise to me. But what was a surprise to me is that it was not included in the price that I paid. So when my scooter arrived at my door, luckily I had some cash on hand. I had to pay $300 sales tax, duty, tariff. I had to pay it before I could get my scooter. Okay, and that is going to happen with anything that you buy from a foreign country. As a private citizen, it doesn't matter. Or if you're a company, you're importing something from another country, and you need their microchips or whatever it is that, textile, whatever it is, you're going to pay the company that is buying it, the consumer, is going to pay for that tariff. The China is going to pay for it. China doesn't pay it. Okay, just get that out of your mind. It doesn't work that way. Take a look at what a real importer-exporter has to say. He's trying to explain to a MAGA moron how tariffs work.
I'm voting for the man that's going to take America back, baby. Donald J. Trump, man.
What's one of your biggest issues?
Probably going to be inflation, because I sell T-shirts and all that stuff.
Your T-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the thing Trump's talking about. If we tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
I'm going to punish the next child severely that gives me a foolish answer.
China doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
What did Jesus do for you?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Like if I'm buying 1,000 shirts from China and there's a tariff on it, I'm paying the tariff.
Well, no, whoever's getting it imported in is going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah. I'm the business owner. I'm paying the tariff. China doesn't pay it. I pay for it.
Well,
like if I'm the business owner and I buy 1,000 shirts,
I see what you're saying.
China's not. Jolly. So I'm trying to explain.
Who pays the tariff? They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? Do you believe that?
Because I was trying to say, because I sell merch as well.
I sell you something for $10, right? You're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it to him for $20?
Am I going to sell it to him for 20?
If I raise the price $5.
Oh, it's going to have to go up.
Right. So
Yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
Have a good day.
Okay, now that MAGA moron, I'm still not convinced he really understands, though at the end of that clip, he said, oh, it's the consumer foots the bill. He said it. I'm not sure he actually gets the idea of what a tariff is. It's a sales tax that the consumer pays, whether you're an importer, you're a company. Let's take a big department store, for example, Macy's in New York City or any other place where there's Macy's. Macy's going to buy clothing from China, for example. Okay. Or from Italy. It doesn't matter where. Okay, the designer in Italy is going to send it to Macy's, and Macy's is going to pay the tariff on that. And then when Macy's has the textiles, the clothing in their shop, they're going to raise the price to cover the cost of that tariff that they just paid for that item, for that group of items, whatever it was that they imported. And the consumer pays it. That's the price of the thing that you pay for. I don't know how else to explain it. Now that clip before I just showed you was by very funny, his name's Walter Masterson. He's a comedian. He calls himself a comedian. He is a comedian, stand-up comedian, but he also goes out and he talks to MAGA morons, mostly MAGA morons, trying to educate them on Trumpisms, the Trumponomics or Trump care, whatever it is that doesn't exist and will never exist, tries to, people on the Daily Show, Klepper, whatever his name is, what was his name? Jordan Klepper, right? Is that his name? Anyway, like him, like the good liars. They go out, ask regular types of questions to MAGA morons and to some normal people. So here's a more recent clip from Walter Masterson at the inauguration, on the inauguration day, I believe it was, talking to other MAGA morons, again, about the tariffs.
Who pays the tariffs?
The Chinese government pays the tariff.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. The government that is manufacturing that product, I just want it to be even. Instead of us paying 400% of tariffs.
Okay, this is where it gets good. This MAGA moron is going to be schooled by a professional importer and exporter. You could see that the MAGA moron is already just spouting the lies and the crap that he hears from Fox News, from Trump. And this importer-exporter steps right in to school him.
I'm an importer and an exporter for 20 years.
Okay.
When a product comes into the U.S., there's something called a tariff sheet.
Okay.
I, as the buyer of that product, follow U.S. law and pay the tariff. Some goods are tariff-free. But when I pay that tariff, I'm an American citizen, an American taxpayer, right? That tariff might be 1%, it might be 7%, it might be 14%. That means I'm a U.S. company, I pay that tariff to the U.S. government, and that increase in the cost of the product, I then sell to you for a higher price because I've got to cover that tariff. Tariffs are a tool. So, for example, you might say, you want to sell us your beans, right?
Yeah.
We are going to give you a low tariff if you buy our corn, right? But the cost of the tariff is ultimately always borne by the consumer. The end consumer always pays the tariff.
But then don't you think at the end of the day there may be more competition within the market of the U.S. government if not only now there's not the cheap Chinese product coming in, but you also now have the American
I'm going to punish the next child severely that gives me a foolish answer.
manufacturing.
You're confusing the question. This is not a question of competition. The point we're discussing is who bears the cost of the tariff.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you if it's good policy for the U.S. government to tax beans and for the Chinese government to tariff corn. I don't know if there's any you can't compare those. That's beyond my expertise. But what I can absolutely assure you on my eyes is that a product that comes into the U.S. is paid for by a U.S. company, and the increased cost of that is borne by all of us.
Okay, so again, a new MAGA person. That was actually one day before the inauguration, and I think it was probably in Washington, D.C., one day before the inauguration. A lot of MAGAs are in Washington, so it's easy to find them on the street. That clip goes on for a little bit longer. The moron is still arguing Trump's points about like a tit for tat. Why do we have to pay 400? We have to pay a 400% tariff when we send something. That's not. He's confusing two different issues.
Today, from Washington, Donald Trump read a teleprompter speech to the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland. And I make the point about the teleprompter because it means that the things that Donald Trump said that are completely untrue were fully premeditated lies. The lie Donald Trump told to the World Economic Forum today is a lie he has told just about every day of his political career. It's one thing to tell a lie to people who don't know it's a lie, like Trump supporters at a Trump rally. It's another thing, it is indeed pathological to tell a lie directly to people who all know it's a lie. You're going to recognize this lie when you hear it. You've heard it before. Here's today's version.
If you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt.
No, you won't. You won't have to pay a tariff. Everyone at the World Economic Forum knows who pays the tariffs.
Okay, MAGA, so again, you're going to be schooled on what is a tariff and who pays it. Lawrence is going to tell you where a product comes into the country, who's going to be waiting for that product at the dock, the physical dock, because it comes in on a ship or even an airplane, but somebody's going to be there. An American is going to pay that tax, that tariff, that customs duty. That's what it is. Oh my God. Just listen. He can give you some more colorful, illustrative descriptions.
And they all know it's not them. The only people who pay the Trump tariffs, which do indeed end up in the United States Treasury, are the only people who can contribute to the United States Treasury. The people of the United States of America. If Donald Trump puts a tariff on televisions made in China or South Korea, when they arrive at the port of entry of this country, that tariff is not paid by anyone in China or any foreign country. That tariff will be paid literally at the dock by the person or company in the United States who wants that TV. So basically, the way it works is someone from Best Buy is at the dock at the Port of Los Angeles or wherever the TVs come in whatever container ship they come in on. And when those goods come into this country, when the big shipment of TVs made in Asia arrives for Best Buy, Best Buy's person is right there paying the tariff. In this case, it's say a Trump 50% tariff right at the dock, and that tariff is paid by Best Buy directly to the same person who's been at that dock since the start of this country, a customs agent right there at the dock, collecting the money from the American standing there at the dock, who's paying him that money called a tariff. And that customs agent, in effect, then sends that money to the United States Treasury. And the TV that Best Buy was going to sell for $1,000 now costs $1,500 because Best Buy has to make up the money that it just paid for the 50% tariff at the port of entry. When you buy the TV, you'll never see the tariff built into the price of it. You'll just see the $1,500. But if Donald Trump imposes the kind of tariff he's threatening to impose, you will see the prices of televisions at Best Buy go up by at least 50%. Donald Trump's choice of Treasury Secretary said in his confirmation hearing that he doesn't expect the price of imported televisions to go up 50% because he expects the television manufacturers in Asia to cut their prices by 50% so that you'll continue to buy their TVs at the same price. A TV manufacturer might be able to do that for a very short period of time if the tariff were, say, 5% or less. So it could be on a very low tariff for a very short time that a foreign manufacturer would lower the price so that the product that you buy, you wouldn't experience the price increase, but the money paid for that tariff would still be paid by that same person, that same American importer at the dock, which is to say, by Americans. The Americans who imported those TVs would pay those tariffs. No foreign country has ever paid 1 penny of tariffs to the United States in the history of tariffs. A Trump tariff is taking money from Americans in exactly the same way that a tax is taking money from Americans. And Donald Trump doesn't want you to know that his tariffs take money from you. And so it is his most enduring and most repeated lie. Actually, the correct way for Donald Trump to say what he was trying to say today would be, if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply the American people will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff, which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay our debt. Of course, he's wildly overestimating how much money you can raise from tariffs, which is why no country in the world tries to rely on tariffs to finance their government. The American people alone pay Trump tariffs. No one else on the planet, no one in China will ever pay a Trump tariff.
So, as you can see, it really is exhausting for anybody to explain to a MAGA moron what a tariff is and who pays it and why. You can see it by Walter Masterson and the importer-exporter people that he was with trying to explain to a MAGA moron. You can hear it from me, my experience. I had to pay a shipping, not a shipping cost, but a customs duty, tariff, sales tax. I had to pay $300 on my, it was about $1,800 scooter. Like I said, luckily, I had the cash on hand. I paid it right away, and I got my product. And then again, you hear it once again from Lawrence O'Donnell. I know you may be thinking, oh, he's a lame screen media. I don't trust corporate media, corporate news. Well, you know what? You don't have to trust all of them, but I'm telling you, he's telling the truth. At least he tells the truth and tries to explain over and over again. And this is not the first time that he has had to lay out like ABC, you know, for all of the MAGA morons out there to try to understand that you buy a car, you know, wherever it's from, the parts might be made in Mexico. Many of the parts are made in Mexico, and then it's built, that, you know, put together. Your car is built together in the United States, but those parts are going to cost more. Buy your TV set from Best Buy or wherever, like you said, it's going to cost you more. You won't see the price. It won't say on the price tag, this is the customs duty, this is the tariff. It'll just be part of the price, and that's the way it is. That is just the way it is. Unless, like I said, on Amazon, if you're getting something from another country, they're good about putting the customs, you know, duty tax on there. You generally don't have to pay anything more than what you've paid on the Amazon purchase page. My experience was a little bit different. I didn't get it from Amazon. I got it from a private store in Germany, and like I said, the duty was not included in the price. I didn't know that at the time, but luckily I had the cash on hand anyway. And even for me, it's exhausting because this is not the first video that I've made regarding tariffs. I don't think it'll be the last one, but please, MAGA, if you're out there, please find out. If you don't believe me, it's okay if you don't believe me. Look for it online. Find out what is a tariff and who pays for it. Who pays the tariff? If you don't believe me, go anywhere else. The country is not going. The country that the product comes from doesn't pay it. Believe me. But if that was true, then I wouldn't have had to pay my customs duty, $300. I would say, well, let the government of Germany pay it. No, that's not how it works. Anyway, this is Mr. Robbie again on the subject of tariffs. Mr. Robbie here, reporting to you from Earth 1, right behind me, just went behind a cloud. Earth 1, we are reporting from Earth 1. You'll see me later.